My name is Christina Kennedy. I'm a photographer in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the mother of two really cool kids, Elliot and Nico. When my brother and I were little, we lived in Japan for 10 years, and we had an unusual situation where we shared a home with a Japanese family and went to Japanese schools, and I pretty much grew up thinking I was Japanese, even though I had red hair and freckles. I felt Japanese on the inside, and I still do. When we were kids, my brother and I loved watching kaiju monsters on shows like Ultraman and movies like Gojira or Godzilla and Hidora. I was also into the yokai monsters from Japanese folk tales and TV shows like Gegege no Kitaro. Anything monster related was interesting to us. When I was 8 years old, I remember making my own monster movie with my dad's Super 8 camera. It was about a bacterial bubble monster that devoured toys and bugs and anything it could find. He was made of dishwashing soap. Now my kids are 8 and 11 years old, and they are into everything monstrous. They dress up as monsters, they play monster games, they collect monster Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and most interesting to me, they draw their own unique monsters. I started noticing that many of the monsters were products of environmental disasters. Some of them seem fiercely protective of the earth and are trying to stop bad things from happening, and others have adapted to their toxic environment and are eating the pollution or using it to their advantage in ways that human beings and animals cannot.
This is the octo oil squid. He eats the oil spills in the ocean because there are no fish left. This is the demon worm. He digs giant holes in the ground that are polluted. When people fall in, they are poisoned, and the demon worm eats what's left of them. This is the peace beast. He stops war before it happens by catching the falling bombs and eating them, so they cannot harm anything else.
Godzilla and Hidora would definitely be considered old-school eco-monsters. The original Japanese version of Godzilla, made in 1954, is a sad cautionary tale about what can happen when human beings alter the environment. Godzilla is driven out of his home in the Pacific Ocean when people begin underwater hydrogen bomb testing. Godzilla's natural habitat is polluted, his food supply is killed by the testing, and he becomes radioactive. This is why Godzilla rises out of the ocean and stomps all over Tokyo. The American version, which came out 2 years later, was completely changed and leaves out any explanation as to why Godzilla has suddenly appeared on land. In the film Godzilla vs. Hidora, Godzilla battles a monster which feeds on the Earth's pollution. The more humans pollute the Earth, the bigger and more powerful Hidora gets, until he grows into a huge, poisonous, acid-secreting sludge monster. The main character in this movie is a little boy who begins to have visions of Godzilla coming to mankind's aid against Hidora. And sure enough, Godzilla rises from the sea to deal with this oozing ball of pollution.
What can we learn from eco-monsters?
We think that drawing monsters is an interesting way for people to express their feelings and fears about the world. Our art project idea is to collect monster drawings from people of all ages, kids and adults. Monsters should relate to the future of our planet.
They can be good monsters or bad monsters. Let your imagination run wild. Include your name and the name of your monster and send it to us.
We will have an art exhibit and publish a book of our most favorite 108 eco-monsters.
If you support us and become a backer of this project, you can get cool rewards.
We think that art can help save the world.